the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, football is back now, isn't it? I mean, this is the start of the pre-season. Away to Gateshead. First pre-season friendly. I've got Roly on. How are you, Roly?
Oh, very Champions League, and looking forward to the game today.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much.
I had to say that because last time I didn't say I was feeling Champions League. Everyone was asking what was wrong with me.
Yeah, exactly. If you do like what you see, please do smash that like. It helps keeping the channel at the top of the search. And also, anybody who hasn't found the channel can find it more easily. If you're brand new to the channel, then come and smash the subscribe. Come and join this great community we have here. And also the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. So I'm 52 subscribers away now from getting to 900. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. Also, if you want to become a member, it's 99p a month. Just click the join button and you'll be entered into member draws. And also, if you want to make a donation, you can do that via the $, the super chat option as well. Right, let's get into some comments first of all before we get into talking points. Andrew says, good morning to you, Andrew. Hope you're well, mate, and thank you for the retweet. Pete says, morning all, got my name, number and name on my away top now. Excellent, mate, excellent. And what did you get on the sleeve? Did you get Premier League or Champions League? You haven't mentioned that one yet. Jan says, good morning to you, Jan. Hope you're well, mate. Hi, Tony and Roly, says Paul. Good morning to you, Paul. Got to remember it's morning now, isn't it? Jake's giving a thumbs up. Hi, Jake. Pete says, and the Premier League badge as well. Excellent. Hi, Tony and Roly, says Trolls. Good morning, Trolls. Well, and he's just speaking to everybody else on there. Yes, so today we play at the International Stadium. I've been to that stadium many a time. You know, I know some Newcastle players are going to go there and think, wow, this is a bit of a shock, you know. But again, it is an athletic stadium as well. You know, but they are improving it. But again, it's a nice little stadium to go to. And it's just good to give a local non-league side some support. And not only that, the fact that the owners have said, look, all gate receipts go to Gateshead, and rightly so. I feel sorry for Gateshead because I think with the National League, I think doing this, like giving them 6p per stream, I think is a bit bad in a way. I think it should be more than 6p a stream in my eyes. And I just hope a lot of people have put in for it as well, because, you know, I'm not being funny. Surely the National League could have given them a bit more than 6p per stream.
I think the thing with I believe the thing with the National League is that it's not that Gateshead just gets 6p. I think it's spread along the other clubs as well. So it's not just the National League taking all the money. They spread it around the other clubs as well.
Yeah,
it's not so bad, but you'd have thought that they'd give the. I don't know how many of the other games they're televising. So if they're televising other games as well, everybody gets a share in the money, and that's probably why it works down to 6p.
maybe so. But again, it doesn't sound a lot, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
But if it is, I mean, I'd have a big problem with it if they're getting 6p and the National League were taking all the rest. But if they share it around the other clubs, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you.
I'm not sure. I mean, that's what I've heard. That's why they do it. But you need the National League to, because 6p just sounds pathetic, doesn't it?
It doesn't sound a lot, does it? No, and I mean, look, for every 10 fans, that's 60 pence, isn't it? It's like for every 10 streams, it's 60 pence. So it's not really a lot, is it, when you think about it in terms of that? But hopefully there'll be thousands have signed up for this. And the thing is, though, I'm not sure about this, and I mean, it possibly will be, but I'm just hoping, obviously, Toon fans around the world can maybe tune into this as well. Whether the National League broadcast their stream worldwide, we don't know, because some people don't stream them worldwide, some leagues don't. So again, but I do hope they have, because if they do, they'll make a lot more money from fans abroad as well. Because we've got fans dotted all around the world. So again, I hope they've opened that bandwidth up worldwide. Just hope it doesn't crash, because there'll be that many fans. But I think they'll probably have everything set so that the demand that's coming in, they'll know that it's not going to crash. We'll get into some comments. Joe McGuire says, morning guys, true fact is Mike Williamson is my cousin, so I want them to do well, but come on the tune. Welcome, Joe. And look, he did well for us as a player, Iron Mike, as we call him, he did well for us, got us back in the Premier League, and wasn't too bad in the Premier League, to be fair. And so, and a great guy as well, so absolutely fantastic there as well. Ian says, morning Tony and Roly. Good morning, Ian, hope you're well, hope you're recovering from your food poisoning. Alan says, morning guys, here we go again, football back already. I know it doesn't seem that long, does it? Weird, but great. Arsenal forever. This is what West Ham are getting from Arsenal for race 100 million paid over 2 years, plus possibly 5 million of add-ons, which is 1 million every time Arsenal qualify for the Champions League and race starts 60% of the games. Wow. Okay, so they're getting 50 million a season from. Interesting. Currently, a monsoon shower over St James could be a very wet game. Yeah, absolutely. There is rain forecast today, but again, let's hope that it'll not spoil the occasion or the atmosphere, and it's going to be great. I mean, look, talking about Declan Rice briefly there, what Arsenal Forever said. Yeah, and I am hearing in the media as well, West Ham are really annoyed at Arsenal because they wanted this deal done. They wanted this deal done a week ago, West Ham, and they have got so angry with Arsenal now that they're blaming Arsenal that they've missed out on their top target, and they are not a happy club, West Ham, because they wanted Harvey Barnes, and they are not happy that we are taking him. They said if Arsenal hadn't messed about, they could have had Harvey Barnes through the door before we even bid for him. So again, that's coming out of the media. If that's how West Ham feel, then tough. At the end of the day, that's your fault for not getting Arsenal to hurry their backsides up. At the end of the day, it's first come, first serve, and if you're in there first and you're in for that player and he comes to you, nothing you can do about it. He hasn't signed for us yet. We don't know what's going on with that deal. Hopefully we hear something maybe more concrete over the weekend or maybe next week, but let's hope he's definitely on that plane for the USA, but we'll find out in due course on that one as well.
Just going on the Declan Rice thing. Oh God, forget his name. The guy at I think he's at the Chronicle, who goes on Steve Ray's show this morning, was saying that the hold-up was because of the way the deal's being done, was the legal people sorting out the contracts. That was the delay.
Yeah.
So it's a bit. I mean, West Ham can be upset with Arsenal for delaying it. Where it's not so much the paperwork; it would be the actual negotiation, which would have been the big delay, because they've been negotiating it pretty much since the the season ended. And it's only like a week or so ago that they actually got the final agreement. So they can still be upset, but the last bit I think is down. It's such a big deal, and with their add-ons, just making sure that everything is watertight and everything, it does take time. But and who's to say that they, even if they had that deal done before, that they would get Harvey Barnes?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
If we had money, we could have got Harvey Barnes. You might have done, but you might not have done.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just one going on that Liverpool have been offered 40 million for Fabinho from Al Ittihad in Saudi. It's just on the Sky Sports News, just waiting for it to come round. I think he's going for a medical.
Who was that, sorry?
Fabinho at Liverpool.
Oh, Fabinho.
Yeah.
Oh, Liverpool really are selling their midfield.
Made a £40 million bid for midfielder Fabinho. And what's it saying there? He's set to undergo a medical ahead of a proposed move to Saudi.
That's not the only one they're losing. I mean, looks like Thiago Alcantara's going to Barcelona, so he's possibly going out of the Premier League as well. Thiago. So again,
but the Saudi league are really going for it,
aren't they? Just
yeah. I mean, it just shows you how determined the Saudis are now that they're actually trying to get their league up to a standard. It's like with the Live Golf, when they've got no restrictions, they go to win. And they're not just getting players at the end of their career, which a lot of them are. They're getting something like Neves from Wolves, who's only about 25. So they're getting some young
exactly.
So maybe they can come for Jeff Hendrick. Pays 40 million for Jeff Hendrick.
Won't happen. Joe says, one thing that really annoys me is journos saying how much we can spend. They should be quiet about that because they know just as much as we do. Absolutely, Jules, because the thing is, they do not know how much we have to spend. The club know how much they've got to spend. The journalists don't know how much we've got to spend. Yes, that £75 million figure was probably put out there just to throw them off the scent. If there's, I mean, look, if we're looking into players, we're being linked again to Jonathan David now. Now, if we're being linked to Jonathan David, who's probably worth 40, 50, probably 60 million quid, then, obviously we must have more money than they know we've got. I mean, look, the end of the day, Newcastle know what they can spend. We know Man United's just been fined for going over FFP. That was from 2018 to 2022. So they got a £200,000 fine, I think. But again, that's just for overstepping the FFP. But the thing is, what I want to say is, if Man U are getting fined like that, why the hell are they still keeping a hold of Everton's? What's going on with Everton? I know that's due for October, but the thing is, if Man U are being fined now, Everton should have been sorted out well and truly before now.
The difference is, Tony, is that Everton's with the Premier League, Man United is with UEFA. And it was a minor transgression, so they got a little slap on the wrist. But it's ridiculous that it's taken so long to deal with Everton. It's not. I mean, Manchester City you can understand because goes back years, but Everton's for one season, and it's a season that they avoided relegation in as well. So, and it wasn't close, even with the 170 million that they wrote off against COVID, which is laughable, because that's more than double that Man City wrote off. Even if you take that off, they're still over 100 million over the financial fair play limit. So they need to get hammered, because if they don't get a points deduction, financial fair play means nothing.
Yeah. Gordon says, good morning, Tony and Roly. I'm Newcastle first and Gateshead on my second team, lads. Yeah, no worries, mate. I mean, look, as Newcastle fans, I don't think we have any animosity towards Gateshead because they're our local non-league neighbours. So at the end of the day, they're a good little club. I mean, I went down to see them in the FA Trophy final. Unfortunately, they lost to Halifax Town, but it was great because there were so many Newcastle fans went down to give them moral support. It was even quite amusing that in the neutral stand there was a Sunderland fan there because he had his Sunderland shirt and I zoomed my camera right in and it was definitely a Mackham, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought, yeah, you won't dare come in the Gateshead end, but yeah, he probably wouldn't get in anyway. But it is what it is, and it was just unfortunate they lost that game, but they did well to get that far. So maybe they might go a step further and win the trophy next year. Jan says, consider ourselves lucky the rest of Europe is bacon. Yeah, absolutely, Jan. Exactly.
Well,
I'm glad we're having a bit of rain because we need a bit to cool the place down.
Can we take a bit of their heat so their temperature drops and ours goes up a bit? We don't want all of it, just a little bit.
I'm loving the lovely cool weather at the moment.
I like it.
He wants the tune, says Jake. Alan says, yeah, you can keep that heat in Europe, just too warm, absolutely. Liam Kennedy of Newcastle World, Andrew.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
That would be the Man United fine, 258,000. That's how much Man United got fined by UEFA.
Yeah, Alan says, do you think Jonathan David will be a clever signing with the World Cup being in North America in 2026? Do you know what? That's not a bad point, Alan. Yeah, that would be a clever signing. Do you know what? I would take Jonathan David because I think he's a terrific striker. Yes, it may push Callum Wilson down the pecking order.
I'm not about that, to be honest.
But you what, Roly?
I'm not particularly bothered if it pushes him down the pecking order. I mean, I love Callum Wilson, don't get me wrong, but if we're getting someone in better, that's how football works. So it's not an issue. It's a case. It's a case of how much we pay for him, and how much wages, and does he fit into how we want to play? I mean, I think that's the other thing that we get linked to all these players. You've got to. I think the first thing you've got to think is how they're going to fit into the way that we play. Are they the players that we are actually going for because of the way that we play? And I think a lot of the players we're linked to don't fit our system. I think at least half of the players that we get linked to, I think are non-starters on that grounds alone. Then you look at how much they're going to cost, which cuts out another lot, and then the wages, which cuts out another lot, and then you get to a group of players that are actually realistic targets.
I mean, look, we looked at them. Well, I'm saying people were looking back in 21-22. I mean, look, he had a blip that season. He only got 15 goals in 38 games. The start of the season, I think he only got 3 goals or something. Then he got 12 in the second half of the season. But I mean, look, last season he was even better. Last season, I mean, his expected XG last season was 23.96. He started 36 out of 37. Got team of the week 4 times and scored 24 goals and got 4 assists as well. So 24 goals in 37 games is absolutely outstanding for a striker. We know he's done it in Ligue 1. Yes, he did come from the Belgian league as well.
But he went to Ligue 1 and developed there.
In the Belgian league.
The Belgian
when he
league
was in the Belgian league,
potential. Then he went to the French league, and then potentially became a Premier League standard player in the French league.
Back in 2019-2020 season in Belgium, he started 24 out of 27 games and got 18 goals. So there you go. I mean, look. I know your thoughts on this Belgian league, Roly, but the thing is, at the end of the day, look, all I'm saying he's come from the Belgian league, he's gone to Ligue 1 and he's smashed it, and he's ready. He's Premier League ready.
I've never said that Belgian players weren't good. I just said the Belgian league isn't.
Yeah.
But
just looking at some pictures there, it looks very rainy at Gateshead. Elliot Anderson's there with a hooded jacket on, all zipped up.
I don't blame him.
Sean Longstaff and Matty Target are on the pitch looking around. And Carl Darlow's there as well, getting off the coach as well. So Darlow's there. Hopefully that puts him in the shop window again. So Troll says Everton have said they have 3 times bigger loss than what most of the clubs have in the Premier, and it's such bullshit as they just get a slap on the wrist. Man U got for 170 million plus for overspending. Yeah, absolutely. Keep Isak as a striker. He is wanted on the left wing. He scored 10 as a striker, none as a left winger. Absolutely correct, Trolls. Alan says Wilson's good off the bench, so getting another top striker and leaves us plenty of good options. Exactly. That's why Eddie Howe wants another striker, and he wants to boost the.
Not necessarily a top striker, but a hungry, developing good striker that can supplant Wilson as the number 2 striker by the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, look. 7 minutes time, we should have hopefully the team news, and we'll see what team starts.
Can I just something that just popped into my mind about the stats on players. When you look at last season, I think it's a bit of an anomaly because of the way the season was with the World Cup in the middle of the season. So you had players that were good in one part of the season, bad in the other part, lost form during the World Cup break. So it's a little bit. It was a very strange season. So I mean, I'm not saying that the stats don't say anything. I just think sometimes we've got to cut players a little bit of slack that we wouldn't normally give them because the season was interrupted. So someone like Jonathan David, he said that it started off slowly and then went gangbusters after the World Cup. If the season hadn't had the interruption, maybe you'd have played better all the way through the season, and the stats could have improved. It's just something that struck me that last season's stats, though they are highly relevant, aren't necessarily the best ones to go by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good thought, Roly. Jan's watching on Belgian. There you go.
Didn't I say that? I didn't say Belgian players weren't good. It's just the league. It's just the league. I love Belgium. I've been a few times. Lovely country.
Yeah. I've been to Bruges as well a couple of times. I've drove there. It's a lovely place. Yeah, absolutely.
Been to eat several times. Going next April as well.
Yeah, and I've been to Brussels, and because I went over there for work. From when I worked for Value and Blythe, we had to go over there. So I was posted over to Brussels for a week and stayed in a place called Neuville-Sud. So I don't know if anybody knows that place. Not a bad little place at all. David says, morning guys and viewers, hope everyone has a good day. We've got Bruno in the middle. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, today's game, yes, it's all about fitness, today's game. It's about players getting their fitness ready for the season starting in August. It's irrespective of whatever the result is today. Whether we only win it by 1-0, we end up with a draw even,
Even if we lose, it's not important.
It's just about getting fitness.
If we lose, people will laugh, but it is about the first couple of pre-season games are all about fitness.
We don't want to lose it.
No, we don't want to lose, but it's all about fitness. That's all it is about. And you've got to remember that Gateshead are ahead of us because their league starts before ours. They've already played the Macans in pre-season, so they're a bit ahead of us. The ones which are more important are the ones in the US, because we're playing Premier League opposition there. And obviously that's where you're looking to refine your tactics. And then the Salah Cup, because that's on the eve of the season starting. Today, Tuesday, Rangers, they're not important. Obviously you want to win them, but it's all about fitness.
Yeah,
In
absolutely. Guys, I've got 47 watching at the moment, and we've got 17 likes. If we could smash that like, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe and join this great community here. I'm just going to go into some comments. Craig says, I was watching the training video on Newcastle. It released no sponsor on the training kit where you must be looking. Yeah, I did mention this, Craig, a couple of weeks ago. I said, look, there's no sponsor on the training kit. Does this indicate we're getting a separate sponsor? We could be. Again, we just have to wait and see what happens. But it would be great, wouldn't it? They used to be good in the 70s, won a lot, the Belgians. Yeah, they did, absolutely. Troll says, looking forward to watch along at TTR. Being aware, I have the shivers. Alan says, what's the name of the stream, Tony? Do you mean for the game? It's National League TV, and I think it's £10. National League TV, and it's £10 to watch it on the National League TV. I think it's on the website you go on, I think, and I don't know if there's an app you can download to your phone or computer or whatever, but yeah, that's how you can watch it anyway. But, you know, today's helping Gateshead. Aloda says, morning everyone. Good morning to you, Aloda. Hope you're well. Predator, morning everyone. Morning Tony and Roly. Hope you're both well. Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. Absolutely fine. Just going to check to see if there's any team news in this yet. I mean, as of yet, there's no thing about the Salah Cup being televised. I mean, look, this would be a great opportunity to get one of the broadcasters in, even if it was like someone like ITV who broadcasted. Be fantastic because you know, that would bring not just revenue to the club, but also just bring exposure as well. It'd be absolutely fantastic, especially if it was on terrestrial TV, because a lot of people can't afford Sky Sports, BT. Well, it's not BT Sports, it's TNT Sports now, so people can't afford it as much. So if it's on like ITV or something like that, Channel 4.
I get a feeling, I'm not sure they'll be allowed to do that because obviously being a Premier League team, there's probably restrictions on who can broadcast. I mean, that's part of the reason why Chelsea wanted to get sponsored by Paramount Plus, and that was turned down because Sky and BT and Amazon have paid all this money for the rights to show Premier League games, and then someone is advertising one of their competitors.
Yeah.
So that there may be a legal issue on a different broadcast. So when you do it through your own website, like the Newcastle CTV, that's different. But for an outside broadcaster, I would expect that there'd be legal difficulties in doing that, unless it's outside of the UK.
May well be, but you don't know, Roly, at the end of the day. I mean, look, you know, right, hang on. I've got the team news in, sorry, and I'll share this on screen as well. And this
there any surprises?
A few people. Hey, yeah, right. So the team news is Darlow in goal, Trippier, Alan St. Maximin, Matt Ritchie, Jamal Lewis, Matt Targett, Javier Manquillo, Anderson, Dan Byrne, Sean Longstaff, and young Remy Savage. On the bench, we have Karius, Gillespie, Ashby, White, Turner Cook, Hackett, Alex Murphy, Endeweni, Parkinson, Wiggett, and Lewis Miley. So that is the lineup today. So there's none of the big hitters are in. None of the Tonali's, Bruno's, Joe Linton, or any of them are playing today. They're probably being kept for Tuesday. But that's not a bad little side. And there's a few people there who can put themselves in the transfer window. Jamal Lewis, one of them. Manquillo, another one of them. You know. so they can put themselves in the shop window, and Darlow as well, and hopefully some clubs will start picking up. I mean, what's your thoughts on that team, Roly?
It's interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised if the whole 11's changed at half time, or most of them anyway. Some interesting picks, and in a way, I'm surprised that Trippier is starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good run out for the guys. I think that it's a little bit surprised that Lewis Miley wasn't starting. Would have liked to have seen him start. It'd be good for Elliot Anderson to get a good run out.
Yeah.
So,
there's your team lined up on screen now, anyway.
So it's just looking at Anderson. Isn't Savage a centre half?
Who?
Remy Savage, isn't he a centre half?
I think he's a left back.
I'm just looking.
Unless he is a centre, he might be a centre half. You know, I'm not sure what his actual preferred position is. To be honest with you,
you've got a lot of fullbacks. He's got Target, Manquillo, Trippier, and Lewis. It's going to be interesting how that would how the line. Yeah, because you got Burn and Savage. I think
he could be.
Then you'd have Trippier and possibly Lewis at the fullbacks. No, it's a really strange mix of players. I would assume that they'd be playing ASM up front on his own.
The only thing I can think of is that obviously Trippier will be right back. Richie will probably be right wing. I would imagine Lewis may play left back and Target plays left wing. Manquillo might be play. I don't know where.
See what I mean?
Or they're playing Richie in centre midfield and maybe playing Manquillo on the right wing, or maybe Trippier right wing and Manquillo right back.
Look at the players there. You can't really figure out how they're going to play. I mean, the three positions that I'm sure players will play is that Darlow will play in goal, and Burn and Savage will be the centre halves. Longstaff will play in midfield. Whether that's with, I think Richie and Anderson will be the wide players with ASM in the middle, playing as a striker.
It'll be a 4-3-3 formation, regardless.
So you got you play Trippier at right back, then either be Lewis or Target at left. Then you got Richie, Manquillo, Lewis or Target in midfield with Anderson. With Anderson, ASM, and Richie up top.
It's a strange one, Rory. It's strange. But obviously, you know, he's just given a number of players a run out and probably getting some players in the shop window as well. Like I say, the likes of Darlow, Manquillo, Lewis. Let's get them in the shop window. Let's get rid of them, hopefully somebody comes in and buys them. So I'm going to pull up the Gateshead team as well. So there's the Gateshead side. So for Gateshead, Mayor and goal, Tinkler, Story, Booty, Whelan, Francis, Ollie, our ex-striker Adam Campbell, Hunter, Wern and Dynanga. On the bench, you've got Elliot, Richardson, Allen, Rutledge, Forbes, McKnight, Parney, Thompson and Hassani. So that's the Gateshead lineup. Obviously we know one player in there, Adam Campbell, who used to play for us, sold under the previous regime. But again, that's the Gateshead side. I'm just going to go into some comments, but I'll leave that on screen for a moment and find out what people's thoughts are. Troll says, hit the likes and help Tony out with his channel. Thanks very much indeed, Trolls. Jerry says, Tony, how are you? I'm absolutely fine, mate. He says Newcastle should sign Axel Disasi, Harvey Barnes and Moussa Diaby, Federico Chiesa and Jonathan David and Lindstrom. That's a lot to sign. I can't see them be many of them coming through the door, but we'll see what happens.
I reckon there'll be two of those.
Yeah. Predator says wasn't expecting any of the big hitters to be playing today, so not worth the risk in all honesty. Advert for selling players, says Jan, absolutely. He said, Adi says, how are you? He says, Sandro Tonali in the starting game. No, he's not starting today. How many defenders, says Jake? Yeah, absolutely, Jake.
Tony,
Trips as captain. Yeah.
Tony, I'm just going to have to pop off for a minute. I'll be.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Trips as captain, marvellous, so makes sense to start him to keep everyone in their place. Yeah, absolutely. Alan says, remember, last pre-season puts different 11 out second half. Look forward to Tuesday, absolutely. Savage has to be the striker unless Saint is. Yeah, it's a strange one, that, isn't it? I thought Remy Savage was a defender, but who knows? Eddie obviously knows what he's doing and which way he's wanting to play. So again, it's one of them. We just have to wait and see what happens on that one. Yeah, he's actually down as a defender, Remy Savage, the centre back. So again, we don't know what's happening with that one, but we shall see. Alora says team seems to be very lopsided. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, but again, I think there's going to be a lot in the shop window. Yeah, Savage is a centre defender. Yeah, would have liked to have seen Miley and Ashby start. Well, maybe they'll get the second half. Ian David says not being funny, but glad I didn't pay a tenner to watch this. Yeah, I see what you mean, mate. And Dueni is the only striker in the whole squad. Why is Richie playing? He will play very few matches. Makes no sense. Again, maybe just to get him in the shop window. Who knows? Yeah, absolutely. Alan says, do you think we'll stop Maxi starting as more likely staying? I would imagine so, but again, who knows, you know? Trippier, Burns, Savage, Lewis in defence, says Paul. Yeah, but I think that sounds about right. Who's our centre backs in that lineup? No, it's an advert for selling players, says Jan, absolutely. Puts him in the shop window. Predator says, think Maxi was always staying unless due to a decent enough bid comes in, and that would consider selling him. Yeah, definitely. But I think this season he's got to really step his game up. Just an advert for selling players. Tony, are you going to the game today? Says Mark. No, I'm not, Mark, but I will be watching it. So yeah, but I'm not going to the game, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. That's for sure. James says, watch that. And do we any kid? He's got an eye for goal. Eddie Howe rates him highly. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll put the Toon lineup back on as well. There we go. There's the Newcastle lineup. Yeah, definitely watch him. If ESM plays like shit today, only God can help him, says yeah. Yeah, unless enough big enough comes in, unless the rain game, this could be in doubt, can't risk injuries. Absolutely, maybe that's why Eddie Howe's not playing as many, because he's thinking of the rain, the pitch, it'll be slippy. It's got worse, says Alan. Richie hasn't got a contract, only Dummett and Carrier signed a new one. Yeah. Richie deserves game time, says Jake. Yeah, he does. I mean, look, when Richie came on last season and played, he wasn't too bad last season, Richie, because look, when he came on in that cup final, look at that ball he delivered into the box. He still got the delivery, you know. There was sometimes I was like, why don't we get Richie on? Give him a good half an hour or four, in a game, and because he still got the delivery. So again, but I think Alan's right with his comment earlier on. I think the reason why we're not playing as many is because he doesn't want to risk injuries if the pitch is slippy. Alan says it's thunder and lightning now. Gosh. Mark says, is the game live on TV? Get yourselves an IPTV. Yeah. It's on National League TV. Paul says they'll be playing the fringe players today. They might take a full squad to Rangers, but most of our first team will be playing the American tour. Yeah, definitely. Billy seems just like he's put the 11 players out with the most fitness. The first teamers are are in because of the big turnout, I'd say, yeah, absolutely, Billy, you're absolutely spot on. Plus, the international lads have only just come back, so it's
Yeah.
like throwing them straight in. Troll says with the players starting, looks like a 5-3-1. Again, we don't know. We'll see how they line up. But it's certainly an interesting one, that's for sure. And we will definitely find out what's happening. Guys, I've got 71 watching at the moment, and we got 22 likes. So if we can give it a like, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much indeed. Yeah, Remy Savage Roly is a centre back, by the way.
Yeah, I thought so.
James says, Tony, I have to say it's time this Richie and all these players today, they're on wages that are stopping new signings.
Well, Richie's still there because when we offered him a new contract, which I believe he signed, and it's for his leadership qualities on and off the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't want to have too much upheaval at one time. But there are a lot of players, Lewis, Darlow, Manquillo, who probably won't be here at the start of the season with any luck, and shift their wages off the wage bill. The biggest problem isn't the value of the players, it's the wages they're on. I know, obviously, Jeff Hendricks isn't in the squad. Tony said he'd take 500,000 for him. He's worth more than that, but no one will take him because he's on too much wages. No one's going to pay his wages. That's why we can't shift him. It's not the money that a team would have to pay for him, because he's a championship level player. So teams in the championship that would have him pay money for him, but they won't pay the wages. And I don't blame them, to be honest. So it's for people like him, Isaac Hayes, and it may have to be a loan of us taking a chunk of the wages, so at least we get some of the wages off. Because I was watching NEFC Matters, and some guy did a calculation on what the likes of Lewis, Manquillo, Fraser, Darlow, I forget someone else, were paid per week, would cost us over the year, and it's like 25 million.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, that's a player. That's an up and coming player. If we could shed even if we could shed a quarter of that amount from the wage bill, that's millions of pounds.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jeff Hendrick, according to SofaScore, is worth 1.6 million euros. Look,
£1 million.
I think if somebody comes in and offers $500,000, you just say, there you go, take him, get rid, gone.
Yeah.
He's definitely not worth the few million that you said the other night, Roly.
I said a few million. I was thinking there might be someone I mean, it's the wages of the problem. If he didn't have those massive wages, I reckon that you could get potentially from a championship. I mean, championship clubs pay £2 or £3 million for players of that standard, and he is a championship player. But it's the wages are the big problem. It's not the value of the players, the wages.
Would-be Pharmacy's 11 forwards, trust me, would have an advantage. Wouldn't we just? Coffee says, hi, Tony, Roly and all. Hi, Coffee, hope you're well. James says, Roly, let's be honest, it's favours for mates. It's the Bournemouth click. He's done enough for a new contract, but he was a good player, but offers nothing on the pitch. Maybe, though, with Matt Ritchie, I mean, they're saying on SofaScore he's still under contract next season till 2024. Now, maybe Ritchie, coming on the coaching staff, who knows? Eddie Howe might want him as a coach. So again, and do you know what? I think Ritchie would be great on the coaching staff, especially with the young squad as well, because the experience he's got and the way he's a true leader as well. He'd bring them on.
It's not just the playing ability; it's the standards that he demands of everybody around him. That he's one of these guys that's not just a leader, but he demands people lift the standard to the highest standard possible. I think that's one. again, this is Liam Kennedy saying he thinks that Jordan Henderson keeps getting in the England team, not because of his ability, but the way that he trains and holds people to that high standard. And I think Richie's in that similar sort of mould. And you don't want to get rid of too many leaders at one time, because then you disrupt the dressing room. And you don't want to do that because we've got a great dressing room at the moment.
Yeah. Billy says, looking forward to seeing Maxi, ultimate professional he was, the first one back for training. He's going to be one of our main players this year. Do you know what? Let's hope, Billy. Let's hope, mate. I mean, I want to see him less on. What I want to see from Maxi this season is I want to see more playing time, less time on the treatment table. That's what I want to see. You know,
maybe the new
time he spent on the treatment table last season totally spoiled his game, and we didn't see the best of Maxi last season when he was sitting on the treatment table, because it's no good him sitting on there because we're not going to see him play. So
hopefully the new
want to see more fitness.
Hopefully the new conditioning coach that we've got in will help with that.
Yeah, Jake's right. There's players to go before Richie, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nell says, afternoon, lads. Great show and good luck to the two. No to Nolly today. No, not today, mate. I think because one, he's just come back, and two,
yesterday.
The weather is bad as well. So the weather's not great. No, he was back on Thursday, Roly, apparently, because somebody put it on Thursday night that he was back, yeah.
I knew he was back, but I thought it started training yesterday.
Training.
Yeah, it started training yesterday. That's where all the international lads, apart from Trippier, who came back early, all the Bruno, Joelinton, Isak, all the international guys, let's call him Gordon, they all came back for training for the first time yesterday.
Paul says, Jeff Hendricks, not worth £1.70. David says, he has an interesting question, guys. Talking about Hendrick, if I'm not going to mention the name, sorry, I do not mention the man's name. I will not mention his name, but I know what you mean. If the fact controller was still in charge, what players would you think we would have signed the last 2 years, if anyone? Do you know what? That's a great question, David. Yeah. We wouldn't have. We would have just been getting loan signings in at the end of the window, and that's how the transfer windows were. But now...
we couldn't even get Hamza Chowdhury in on loan.
James says, Tony, just let him go for nothing because no one is going to pay a fee as his wages are high. I know what you're saying about him, but the thing is, though...
He's on such...
He's good around the dressing room as well. And anyhow,
is he talking about Hendrick there?
Richie.
Are you sure? Because let him go for nothing because his wages are high. That sounds like a Hendrick question to me. Can you just clarify? Are you talking about Hendrick or Richie, James?
Yeah,
because it's a totally different question if it's Richie or if it's Hendrick.
Cheng says, hi everyone. Hi Cheng, hope you're well. Would be Farmer says, this looks like a yard sale. This should be a list of prices instead of shirt numbers. Do you know what would be? I absolutely love that, mate. That's brilliant. I mean, look, and I know what he means by a yard sale because you know he's obviously American, and where I live, I have a lot of Americans around here, and they do have things up yard sale. When I first saw one, I thought, what on earth is a yard sale? But now I definitely know what yard sales are. Billy says Jeff Hendrick's stats last season weren't even good enough for the championship. Do you know what it is, Billy? I've seen from Reading fans that they did not like him one bit. They said he was one of the worst players they had at the club. Even though he scored the odd good goal or odd worldie, as they put it, they said other than that he offered absolutely nothing. And you know, this is why Burnley got rid of him on a free, because they didn't rate him. They wanted rid of him. And yet, who comes along? Newcastle United and snaps him up on a free. You know, only our former owner would do something like that. You know, crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, look, the alarm bells were there when Burnley wanted shot of him, you know, at the end of that season. Once his contract ran out, they couldn't wait to get him out the door. They must have laughed when we signed him because I just thought it was a dud signing, and it still is a dud signing. Should never have come.
Tony, can we go back to James's question? Because he says in the chat he was talking about Hendrick.
What, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all right saying let him go. It's trying to work out. Thing is, what you could do is if you can work it out with him and say, look, you've got a final year of your contract. Can we give you this offer? Can we pay you off and you
He's
go on a
got 2
free in the
years
summer?
left. He's got
You've
2
got
years
1 year. One.
after this. Are you sure? After this season, I think
2024. Jeff Hendrick's contract runs out the 30th of June,
I thought
2024.
I thought it was 2025.
No,
Maybe
no,
I
no,
got
no.
that wrong. But it's a difficult one. The whole thing is to try and get the money off. If we pay him up, we're still paying the money out.
Yeah.
So what the idea is to get rid of him, or and reduce the actual amount of money we pay him. So I can understand. I want rid of him. I think the best option for us is like we did with Kieran Clark. Send him on if his contract does run out at the end of this next season. Send him on loan somewhere, and we pay a chunk of his wages. So at least we've saved a little bit of money, because it almost defeats the object by letting him go for free and paying him, because the idea is to get his wages off the bill, or some of them off the bill.
Yeah.
We don't want him at the club. He knows that. It's just the wages. That's another way that the previous regime screwed us, not just in the lack of commercial revenue, but the number of players that they put on long contracts that weren't good enough. And now the days of Championship clubs having a punt on Premier League players on Premier League wages, and then not they've learnt the lesson, because the teams have gone out, taken a gamble, got players from the Premier League on Premier League wages, and then haven't got promoted, and then they get themselves in financial trouble. We've got mediocre players on big contracts because they came in as free transfers, and that's the big problem.
Yeah, Aloda says Richie's the only player out the bunch that's got something to offer. Absolutely. James says, yes, Tony, I love Richie, but we are not that level to keep all players we sign. Tonali, that's the level, and Richie won't take a training coach. They don't make more than $8,000 a week. The thing is, how do you know Richie won't take a training roll up? You don't know. That's the thing. There must be something why Eddie is not rushing to get rid of him. So we'll wait and see.
It's part of off the field, but we can't. You see what happens when you take Nottingham Forest last season. They lost sort of like 10 players because they went back to their parent clubs from the loan period. And they had to buy so many players, and it took them 3/4 of the season to actually figure out how to play together. So you can't get rid of that many players in one go. So people that are going to be useful, if they're not going to make it to the pit, but at least useful around the ground, you keep those and get rid of the ones that the Frasers, the Haydens, and the Hendricks, who aren't even going to make the squad. Get rid of them. I think in some ways we've been spoiled in the fact that we made Champions League and we know we've got players that aren't good enough. But do you disrupt the club by making wholesale changes, or do you stick to the plan, which is a process as you get rid of a few, bring a few in? What we're doing is we want to get rid of a few, but we're bringing in players of a better standard than we would have done if we hadn't made the Champions League or hadn't made Europe, because we're ahead of the game. And I think the fact that we've made Champions League and we signed Tonali, it just emphasises how bad some of the players we want to get rid of are.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, if you do like what you see, please do smash that like. It does help the channel, keeping it towards the top of the search, and means people can find it easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe, join this great community, and that bell notification keeps you up to date with any live or upcoming shows. Right, okay, so I'm going to get into some comments now, Roly. Sorry, I've just got to rattle through some comments. Would-be farmer says, yes, Sam should be fit, but keep the kids' mascot, small animals away from him before the game. Make sure he gets to the pitch unharmed. Coffee says, I'm happy to see our team play again. Absolutely. James says if Harvey Barnes is coming in, which Liam Kennedy said he's been up north looking for a house, then he's first pick over Saint in my eyes. Who knows? Cheng says Piff should do us a big favour, like a wholesale get all deadwoods from us. 8 or 9 players should go, absolutely. We're trying to get rid of them.
That many in one go. It's too many.
Would be in the championship. Coffee says, let's not say bad things about the Irish Pirlo. We still need to sell him to AC Milan for 70 million in this transfer window. Jack says, afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, Jack and Roly. David says, in a car boot sale, taking the car to Gateshead with a load of crap in the back. Trippier not included, absolutely.
Oh, and there's a few in there. But...
yeah, absolutely. James says, weird how we are having problems with wages. Saying a lot of those, you just ask for no fee, so that way the club would be able to pay their wages. The game are still paying wages, like we did with Kieran Clark. There's maybe send Hendrick on loan to Gateshead. Yeah, possibly. That would be a good one. Would be fun. How's the hair to Jack? Paul says, morning everyone. Good morning, Paul. Gordon, I hope you're well. James says, remember these players are money grabbers and they will be in the under 21s and they have years to... Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, according to reports, we've tried to pay Fraser off at 42 grand a week and he's refused it, just to pay his contract and get rid. Jan says, send them out on loan and make them play and pay some of their wages.
You can't do that. You can't make them pay.
If Hendrick doesn't leave, I'll make him clean the Gallagher box for the money. Gradius 10 out of 10 for the lineup this one, lads. James said, I said that why, because it's known that Richie wants to retire at his home club and known a player, well, Bournemouth can come and make let Bournemouth come in and make an offer. That would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Sky's looking a little bit brighter, so there's hopes, says Alan. Yeah, definitely, mate. Billy, that's just because he's got the hair for it. Thank you to Elora. He's just become a new member of the channel, so thank you very much indeed, my friend. Paul says, squad harmony is vital and we have a class one, so we don't want to ruin that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
James says, don't get me wrong, Tony, I'd have him as a coach, but he would have to leave. To do that, you need licenses in the Prem, or the club would get a massive... Yeah, we know he needs a license, and I think who's to say he's not actually training to do his license? We don't know.
Yeah. You can do your license whilst you're playing.
Yeah. Richie, the only one who has something to offer out there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do know there is a manager in France who manages Reims, a young manager. Yeah, he's not got his badges, but he's still... They get fined 25. I think it's 20. I think they get fined 25,000 per game or something.
I don't think
not bothered. They're still paid.
Yeah. That's because he's doing well.
Yeah, he's done very well for them, I tell you. And he could be a Premier League manager one day if he gets his coaching badges. They only took him on because he played Football Manager. So it just shows you playing Football Manager does not rule you out of getting a manager's job somewhere. The coach will be a lot later on the way back from the game today.
What they'll probably do is they'll tell Jeff Hedrick, that's not Jeff Hedrick, Manquillo and Darlow that the coach is leaving at 5 o'clock and they'll leave at 4:30.
Yeah. Ian says, going to get ready for the game, Tony. See you later. Yeah, see you later, my friend. And we're going to get so wrapped up soon. But, I mean, look, yesterday it's been reported that Leeds United are targeting 2 of our players. They want Carl Darlow and Ryan Fraser. Please take them. Now, the question I asked last night, and I'm going to ask you the same question. I think I know your answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask you anyway, Roly. Would you, if they want to take Carl Darlow and Ryan Fraser to Leeds, would you swap him for Wilfred Gnonto, them two? Bearing in mind, before you answer, Wilfred Gnonto, 19 years of age, he's a full Italian international. Yes, he didn't have a great team.
What do you think my answer is going to be? And I'll tell you if you're right.
You're going to say no, aren't you?
No. Yeah, I would give them Darlow and Fraser and some money for Gnonto.
Yeah.
So I surprised you there, Tony.
You have surprised me for a change, Roly.
I don't know why you think I wouldn't want Gnonto, because he's Premier League proven. He's young. He's exciting. He's an exciting player.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of room for development. And then you're getting rid of Deadwood. That sounds like a no-brainer to me.
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't take up a Premier League squad place because he's 19. Plus,
Yeah.
Yes, we know he missed a lot of sitters in the under-21s, and he wasn't great last season for Leeds. But come on, Leeds as a whole team last season was shambolic.
He was one of the shining lights of that Leeds team.
Troll says, go Leeds, and by the way, get Hendrick. He'll offer the Irish Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, if Leeds want Fraser and Darlow, you've got to try for Gnonto. I heard that someone else was after him. I can't remember who it was. They said someone. I'm not sure if it's West Ham or someone else was interested. But yeah, Gnonto. Yeah, I'd take him. Especially if you're getting, the thing about that deal is, even if you pay a few million on top of those two, you're still quids in, because you're getting rid of two players. One's on really high wages, one's on decent wages, and you're getting a player that's going to cost in wages, cost a fraction. If you can double his wages, it still won't be half of what Jeff Hendrick that we're paying Jeff Hendrick.
Yeah,
I'd love that deal.
I mean, Jan says yes for Nonto. So yeah, I mean, some people. James is saying no. He was crap for Italy. He's the sole reason they went out. Can't hit a barn door. I can't say you can just blame it on Gnonto or Italy going out. That whole squad is a thing. You know, they should have got through that group. They should never have lost to Norway. Predator says anyone who wants our Deadwood or on huge wages, just make a donation at the food bank and bloody take them. Where does Nonto play, says Trolls. Trolls, he plays as a left winger and a striker. But again, do you know what it is? The thing is, Eddie Howe could make him better than what he actually is. He's only young. He's only 19. He's got a long way to go before he even hits his peak. We know he does miss a lot of sitters and things like that. But again, it's all about just getting them the right coaching. You need the right coaching. Under Jesse Moss, do you think he's got the right coaching? Not at all. He plays American. He's American. You know, he likes American football.
Even the best missed chances. I mean, there's a period this last season where Callum Wilson was having them put on a plate and still missing them.
I mean, Billy says not to misses more sitters than the McCanns. Oh, Billy. Jesus, Billy.
That can improve. He couldn't hit a barn door the season before last, and then October last year he was having a goal of the month competition against himself.
Yeah, reintegrate says Villa are after him.
Oh, okay, yeah, I knew there's a Premier League team after him. I couldn't remember who it was.
He's still very raw, but has pace to burn. Absolutely, yeah. That's the thing. James says yes, he's had over 40 shots in the tournament, not one on target. That's fair enough. I mean, look, it was just out there. I just put it out there. I just thought of, somebody suggested last night that maybe if we swap Brian Fraser and Darlow, maybe for Somerville from Leeds. But again, I would just want, to be honest with you, if we didn't swap, I would just want straight money, get money, just get them out. We don't need Nonto yet. We need quality. Yeah. But I mean, Nonto could come on in leaps and bounds. Who's saying he wouldn't? Reintegrate says I'd pay at least 20 million to take Fraser, Hendrick and Darlow off our hands. Yeah, pay Leeds, absolutely. Billy says, saying that, if we swap him for Fraser, at least we know we won't have to buy a new kit. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Gnonto, you're paying for the potential. He's a raw kid and needs some proper coaching.
He does. He may go to Villa. who knows? I mean, I'm not saying we're in for him because there's no links that we are in for him. I'm just saying it was just a question I put out there. That was all. I'm not saying we are taking him for instance because there is nothing out there linking us with Canonto. But all I'm saying is if we got rid of him, Fraser and Darlow, would you swap him for Canonto? That was my question. In all honesty, and yes, we know he's not the greatest of scorers because we know what he's like. I mean, look. But he has got the energy and he's got the pace. But again, look at Mickey. He wasn't particularly fantastic for us at the start. And look what Eddie Howe's done to Mickey. He's turned him into a great winger now and he can score goals. So he's brought more goals to his game. And I'm just saying that's what Eddie probably would do in Nonto. James says Villa can have him. He will relate to him from the lack of goals. Some of Villa's a talent, but I'd take Melier, future keeper. I'm not keen on Melier, to be honest. I think he is a good keeper, but I don't think he's that great. I think he's too erratic in my eyes. But there is rumours he's going back to France. Craig says Nonto's too similar to Minte to blow 30 million. Yeah, fair point. 30 million for Nonto's too much for a raw player. Yeah, I wouldn't pay 30 million for him. Definitely not. No. Let Villa pay that. Reintegrate says thoughts on Diaby going to Villa. 35 million. I thought they would pay that. No, but we would pay that. No bother. Well, 35 million euros has been turned down.
Apparently, they want closer to 51 million pounds plus add-ons.
Yeah.
So they're not getting for at that price.
But the thing is, I mean, look. Yes, we may have looked at Diaby, but are we actually in for Diaby? That is the question. The club might be thinking, the club might have looked into it and thought, actually, yes, he's great up front, but he doesn't do enough tracking back. They've probably looked into a whole list of things.
Yeah.
We don't know. We might be in for Diaby. What's to say that Villa putting this low ball offer in and say they put another offer in and it gets rejected or it gets accepted? We go in and say, oh, hang on, we'll offer you 5 million more. And then they go, oh, deal done. And Villa can't match. So again, who knows? Who knows? But we'll wait and see. It's going to be a roller coaster this transfer window, that's for sure. Gordon says, are you watching the game? Yeah, I will be, mate. Billy says, Leeds fans want to keep Somerville. They've been writing to him saying, don't leave me this way off, for God's sake, Billy. Should have saw that one coming. Leeds are dropping Bamford off at Sunderland for a refund. Well, he originally come from Chelsea and Middlesbrough, wasn't he?
Yeah.
BS says, afternoon, guys. Out drinking today. We'll catch up later. How are you, the lads? No worries, mate.
Cheers.
Villa have offered 45 million. Who's that for?
Is that euros or pounds?
Yeah. If Barnes comes in, says Cenk, and ESM stay, we are well sorted out wingers, positions, and Mickey. Yeah. Gordon and Murphy, maybe we can sign one or two more players, centre back and a left back. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably the plan. But in the meantime, if a big offer comes in for Maxi, they'll consider it.
Would be Farmer says, if Diaby's a smokescreen, I will take a puff. Absolutely. Barnes doesn't track back, from what a Leicester fan said on a podcast. His name was Jack. Yes, it was on my podcast last Sunday. Jack did say that he doesn't track back. But again, it's something Eddie could instill into his game. Euro, says James. Yeah, guys, you're having a live watch along. We're not, but Jack at Toon TV is having a live watch along. I don't know if Toon Review are doing one or not.
I believe they are.
They're not.
Oh, I believe they are, but Billy can confirm it.
Yeah.
He's in the chat.
So one of the channels are, but we're not doing a watch along, mate. No worries. Craig says the clock's stuck on 4:20 in my house. Oh, time to change the batteries. Reintegrate says, love Maxi, but he's indirect, constant stories on Insta's getting annoying. Yes, I know it is, and I can see why people are getting annoyed at it. We just need, it would be nice if it was just clarified. Maxi, just say you're staying, and let's just have it all put to bed, you know. But maybe just likes keeping the mystery going. One Barnes, though. Jamal Lewis is about to earn his place in the starting 11, says Jake.
Well, if
you know what it is, so Jake? Jamal Lewis, right? Now, when we signed him, Liverpool wanted him, and we outbid Liverpool for him. because Liverpool wouldn't pay 15 million. And we thought, okay, Jamal Lewis, great player. He hasn't really kicked on. He hasn't. One, he played under a dinosaur manager with dinosaur tactics. And then he had that good game, I thought, for Eddie Howe when we played against Liverpool. He looked good, and then he got an injury. Yeah.
He's had a lot of injuries, to be honest, to be fair to him.
There you go, guys. Tune review. Get yourselves over there. We're going to be wrapping up, but get yourselves over at the Tune review. Paul, Billy, Alex. I don't know who's doing it with them, but anyway, probably Billy will be doing it. I reckon Paul's probably at the game. Get yourselves over at the Tune review and watch along. If you're watching it, you can always mute your TV and listen to their commentary as well. If Maxi's Insta's annoying, stop looking at his page. Simple. Tony with Maxi, it's got to show it's on the pitch, mate, unless it's talking more goals and assists. This is what I said earlier. I think Maxi is on last chance saloon this season. He's got to start keeping off that. We want to see him off that treatment table. We need to see him more on the pitch and less on the treatment table. That's what we need to see with Maxi. Right, Roly, do you want to let people know where they can find you before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pole67.
Okay, thank you very much, Roly. I'm on Twitter at TonyTooney31 down there, so follow me there, and you can, and I'll follow you back. Facebook and Threads, it's all Black and White TV, so you can follow me there. If you have liked what you see, then please do smash that like if you haven't done so already. That would be great, thank you. Also, if you're new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe, free to do so, helps the channel grow, and the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. And again, just thank you to Aloda for becoming a member today. Thank you very much. Does Maxi have a hooks coach? He needs a lot of love, says Would Be Farmer. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? He does need a lot of love, doesn't he? But you know, let's just see what we get off Maxi this season. Maxi was kicked a lot last season, so if that's why he got injured, then it isn't his fault. No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that, but you know, it's part and parcel.
It's just frustrating when he gets injured because he's normally starting to hit really good form, and when he gets injured, it puts him right back. And he's the sort of player that takes a few games to actually get back up to top peak form, and then he gets injured again. It's more frustration with the injuries rather than the player.
Shank says 1 golden season from ESM, we might win the league. Who knows?
But he had a few assists, and then you can't forget the number of chances he set up that we fluffed, because we've had spells when he's been playing where we've missed so many good chances. Manchester United at St James's Park, 0-0 at half time. He set Longstaff up twice and Willock, and they all missed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm starting to get frustrated when people just talk about the goals and assists, because they're important, don't get me wrong. But if you're setting up chances is what the wing is supposed to do, and somebody fluffs their lines or the keeper saves, that doesn't go down. Maxi doesn't get any credit for it. Or like against Bournemouth when Almiron scored the equaliser, it was Maxi that won the ball back, played it into Longstaff, his shot was saved, and Maxi gets the rebound. ASM, who did all the work, doesn't get anything for that, or it's not recognised for that. So, as I say, the stats only tell half the story, and it all depends on the stats that you use. I personally think you should not just look at assists, but big chances created and big chances missed. That gives you a better picture of the player's ability. But that's just my bugbear. It's something that started to annoy me.
Would Be Pharmacy. Smash the likes buttons, folks. Very likeable button. Thank you very much indeed, my friend. And so we are coming to the end of the show, but it's been a terrific. It's great to have the pre-match back now, and we'll have another one on Tuesday, obviously for the Rangers game. But anyway, guys and girls, thank you for joining this stream today, and do enjoy the rest of the afternoon and enjoy the game. And let's hope it's all about fitness at the end of the day, but let's hope we get a positive result as well. But until then. Remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white, and it's bye-bye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Away the lads.